down wherever you want. And so I have no problems about fighting in Texas. In fact, I'm very excited, and I have to like question like, is it weird showing up to Texas in a bunch of Texas gear? Does it look like I'm trying too hard? You know what I mean? But like, do I wear cowboy boots, or do I look like, this is somebody that's total out of towner, because people from Texas don't really walk around in cowboy boots that are, sparkling white and don't have a scuff mark on them. I don't know. These are things that I'm contemplating and trying to figure out. Well, what am I going to wear? Am I going to dress like a Texas person? Am I going to, are they going to think like she's not from Texas, she shouldn't be dressing like that? So these are, the girly contemplating things that I do.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one. I mean, I feel like it's worked out for some people over the course of the UFC careers. I feel like it has kind of fallen flat on others. Do you actually wear like cowboy attire ever, or this would be like the only time you ever wear?
Well, I love going to the bull riding here in Chicago, and I definitely wear my Texas gear there. But not every day do I dress like a Texan. Well, I don't know, dress like a Texan. I don't need to say it like that, but I don't wear cowboy boots every day. It's definitely got to be like an occasional thing, or a special occasion type thing, like a bull riding type of rodeo situation. But yeah, I'll be bringing 4 suitcases, so we'll figure something out.
You got to have options, yeah. I want to say Texas people actually appreciate it. People they just love the rodeos and stuff. And I think when it's falling flat, if you when someone shows up and if you just wear the local team sports fans attire, and you're like, not that team, like you're not a fan of that team. But I feel like it's good. Probably doing a cowboy hat. I think that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna bring it all, and like you said, I'm gonna have options, and I'm gonna have to, defer to my best friends and figure out what they think looks best.
Do you feel like there's any I guess is it harder at all for you to try to figure out what she's gonna do different because she looks American costume and she's doing her own thing? Like, does that have any kind of element of mystery for you whatsoever?
I don't think too much about the fact that she left American Top Team. I know that she feels like she's in such a great place, and that she's in a more of a mental clarity. She got her own gym up and running, and she's been able to call the shots and do everything, that she had always wanted to do in her career. So I know that she's in a good spot there, and that she's very happy and cushiony in her new gym, and living right above it. So I think that's great for her. I don't think, American Top Team versus Amanda's, own gym or anything like that. I just know that there's things that she looked at in the first fight that she found was very successful for her. And I imagine that she'll just try to, keep playing that button more than she was able to the first fight.
I'm sure you go into every fight kind of just prepared for everything, right? I mean, that's what good fighters do. They're ready for absolutely anything that happens out there. If you had to do your best guess, or maybe if you were doing some analyst work for ESPN or whatever the case was.
You. How we sounding on the vocals? We good on the levels?
Yeah, you sound good to me, bro.
Listen, you are, bro. I don't think you understand, my man. I don't think you understand the level of propensity, even though that's not the right vocabulary word, of the type of guest you are, my man.
My man said propensity.
Yes, sir. Right. He did indeed. He pulled it out there. So, yeah, as some may know, some may not, we are both Fayettevilleans from the 2-6. Unless you were born somewhere else and then you grew up in Fayetteville, the 9 dime. You know what I mean? I want to get this out the way before I even do my usual breakdown with every guest. We're going off cuff. We're going off cuff right here.
I was gonna ask, do you have notes or something? Were you gonna I set you over some things that I want you to ask me, and this is just no, we're just freestyling.
Yeah, I never have notes. I like a organic conversation for one. For two, I will have a guidepost of some things, and then I'll ask my guests. I say, hey, is there something you want to touch on that maybe I won't? So as long as they bring that to the table beforehand, it's cool. Even as we talk, if you're like, bro, I want to talk about the Braves and why, Tom Glavine's not the head coach or the manager right now. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I'm so honored to have you on the RPR podcast is the second episode of the 4th season. it's not because you're from Fayetteville, but because our connection is either through Marcus Shaw, Ricochet, Shamrock, aka Sound of the Rain, Omar, Spade, potentially Maurice, you know, made by Mo. You know what I'm saying? The Fayetteville, you know, we keep it on deck. We keep it on deck.
Hey, look, that's a hard rep right there, bro. I'm not repping hard rep right now.
I don't know if it was just straight up like Facebook mutual friends, or because honestly, I don't think we've ever met in person before. Because I feel like you're the type of guy I would remember you, bro.
Yeah, bro. I mean, we probably have been around each other in like some kind of Fayetteville cipher. You know how that goes. Like you're going to the mall. You're going to the mall for some shorts, and then like there's a like cipher or somewhat cipher, and you spill into it, and then it turns into like a whole thing. These are things that you don't see often anymore. Like you don't just see a random cipher spilling out in the streets. Yeah. But that's that. I mean, like there was a time where Fayetteville was full of amazing artists. I mean, like not even counting Jermaine. I mean, like just artists all over the place.
Yeah,
I mean, like I remember the first time I met Jermaine. It was at Marcus' house, Ricochet's house.
Yeah,
I was I don't know if you remember like the you remember like like Pharrell had that shirt that just had like it was like cartoon characters of him and the other guy and like a dog. And I had that shirt, and Jameer was like, "Yo, where you get that at, bro?" I was like, "I got it off eBay, bro. It's fake as hell."
Yeah, but it's like, hey, it is what it is. So we come from a time where Fayettevilleans, and I think it's still there. You know, I heard you say like, you know, in a time where, but I think there's still dope MCs there. You got a Moonshine or Carolina Cool Slim. You got Rain 910. Who's been very vocal about Cole's lack of bringing Fayetteville talent in. You know, Rain is heavy in the battle leagues. You always see him looking nice and saucy. You know what I'm saying? But you never see him battle nobody,
bro. I've met Rain a couple of times. I've never seen him. I never even seen him rap, but like I met him again through Marcus and all those other guys. But I have heard Rain. I mean, he's clearly
I've been trying to stay on Marcus because you know Sham did it a little bit, Sound of the Rain did a little bit. You know, Jonathan Billingsley likes to put his government name out there because we are who we are, whether we're artists, whether we're connoisseurs of live dogs, and we provide information that helps people financially get stable. You know, let's talk. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and do this before we continue on because I'm ready to jump right in. Your name, where you're from, what you do vocationally, or just what you do passionately, your strengths, your weaknesses, and if you care to divulge or if you have any, your superpower. So those are the 3 to 4
strengths and weaknesses. I have no weaknesses.
Okay.
I have no strengths either. Like I'm just right in the middle.
I had a brother on the last one. I said he said his strengths is everything, his weakness is everything.
Yeah.
He said there's room for growth. And I think people that answer in a way that he did and in the way that you just did now are people that are comfortable, right, with who they are. Like I know my identity. I don't need man's approval.
Yeah, bro, for sure. I mean, like that just comes with growth and maturity in life. And when you realize that really, when you meet all these people that are supposed to be great and they really ain't shit, like it makes you understand that like we're all on an equal playing field and we create these people in our minds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so who you are is who you are, and you can be whoever the fuck you want to be.
Yeah, it's like we put our pants on the same way, left foot, right foot, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, like unless you're like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, like that guy, like if I met that guy, I'd be like, holy shit. That's why you meet him, like he's not like a regular human. But I mean, for the most part, everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so what's your location? What's your my bad? Go ahead, say that again. What'd you say?
Oh no, I was just saying that we're all in the same race. We're not playing a different game. We're all playing the same game.
Bro, I worked at Mercy Medical Center. This was my second job in Baltimore. I was a security officer, and there was this elderly black woman, and she was wilding out. And she was like, "You," and she pointed at me, and I'm like, "Yo, chill out. I'm trying to wrangle her up."
Yeah.
And she was like, she said something off-putting, and my man was like, he goes, he ain't white. His race ain't white. And she did a double take. He said I was like, man, Rashad. I was like, Rashad. He was like, his race is human. And so she took a double take and she was like, is this dude trying to like, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, oh, you one of them cool white boys. Like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But bro, she like tried to kick me in my junk. I closed my legs, caught her foot. You know, I didn't put her in the hole, but I wanted to.
Wait, where did this happen? Where was this?
Baltimore City, Mercy Medical.
That sounds like, that sounds like Baltimore.
Sounds like,
like you ended up doing karate with some fucking crackhead. I mean, like that comes with the territory in Baltimore.
Comes with the territory.
Karate, you gotta know how to fucking defend yourself versus crackheads. I used to go for the eyes.
My biggest thing was, you know, take care of my coworkers, the nurses, the doctors. Also provide, what's the word? Like when you give good, not prosperity, but you give a customer service, right? Right. Oh, you're trying to get to the cancer ward. That's the 13th floor, but I need you to walk back and get a pass.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't get a pass, your ass ain't getting passed. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I say that to say, bro, like growing up in Fayetteville, you know, let's get it. You know, we got Larri Cotton here. Let us know what Live Dogs is all about. What does that mean to you? Where was it birthed? You know, what was the origin? And what are you guys doing now? Or women? I don't know. You might have some females on the squad. I don't know.
Sure. Well, the funny thing about Live Dogs is it's plural, but it's not like about like a group of people. Live Dogs is a gambling term that's applied to a team that's like supposed to lose but has a great chance of winning. Okay. So I decided to like name, of course, like this group that I always felt like I'm an underdog to an extent, and I have a good chance of winning, and I own that shit. So Live Dogs. That's where that's my name derives from. But it's funny. Like I got into sports betting probably like how everybody does, like just fucking around and just doing it. Yeah. And there's probably like 1,000 bettors that have this story. Like you go up huge, like you make all this money betting, like in like a very small span, and you think that you're like the shit, and then you lose it all. Yeah. And that happens like quite a bit. And that happened to me when I was first starting out. Like I started, like losing. I was like, damn, I got to get it back. And I was scrambling. But I realized that there are people that are really good at sports betting. I'm like, well, good at it. I got to figure out what the fuck they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like
they're doing research. Yeah.
I can, you know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing on this planet that these guys can do that I can't do unless they're just fucking, like MIT students. And most of them aren't. You know what I'm saying? They're just guys that studied it and took their licks and learned per lesson. Yeah. With Live Dogs. So like over span of time, I started learning all these different tricks. I started like studying lines, finding patterns, studying lines until my eyes were bright red at night, passing out on my laptop, bro. Just putting in the hours, you know what I'm saying? Like 10,000 hours type shit, like making sure that I'm going to be the best at this. I'm going to figure it out. And lo and behold, man, like the numbers started just making sense on some like beautiful mind shit. And it's really like you can apply a lot of things from stocks into betting. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know what you're doing, you can apply value to certain things. There's variables. You can track the variables. You can track how they perform and get certain different things and just like add it all up. And like you start to come up with the same number at the end of it. So like, I mean, I just put in that kind of time to the point where like when I talk about it, I sound like a fucking nerd. But like that's what betting is. Like that's what real betting is. It's not like, yo, the Yanks are gonna win tonight, bro. It's not that shit. Like that's the kind of person that Vegas loves. They're gonna get their ass handed to them. Yeah. Like they're gonna in debt. So I started doing that, and I was in Facebook groups, and everybody was like, yo, man, you should probably start selling those picks, bro. Like them shits always are slapping or whatever. And over, like you hear that enough, I'm like, fuck it, let me see if I can monetize it. We live in a world now where you gotta monetize everything.
Capitalism.
Yeah, bro. Like this is we're in a time where like really integrity and tact and like caring about people is out the window, bro. Like it's all about capitalism. We live in a capitalist country to a fault at this point. I mean, like everything comes down to the dollar. Even like why the world is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't care about fixing things because it's gonna take money out of people's pockets to like have to, go out of your way to like use different oils to change emissions, shit like that. But I digress. What the fuck was I even talking about, bro?
Yeah. So let me ask this: what has been one for you as Live Dogs and the proponent of that has been the most financially beneficial? But two, what do you find that people want to get the most information from? Is it NFL, or is motherfuckers like, yo, is Tiger gonna, tell me about Tiger, tell me about, tennis?
Well, most people, I mean, like football is always gonna be like your most popular sport. Like people, for some reason, like that's just the one that it brings all sports bettors, degenerate to the top level of sports handicappers, all into the same group. Like everybody loves football, so like that's always gonna be your most bet season for the most part. Basketball too, college basketball, March Madness is the biggest bet time. I mean, like that's usually the most financial. Yeah, like college basketball is probably what I'm best at, but I'm honestly really good at all the sports, bro. Like pretty much everything. I can look at a line, tell you what they're trying to do, and we'll find a winner from that. Like, of course, like you're gonna lose one. I always tell people this, bro. Like you have to be right all the time because there's gonna be games where like these people just don't perform to the numbers. It happens. These are anomaly games. It's gonna happen. Like out of 3 games, 1 game just gonna go off the rails, no matter what the fuck you do. So you got to be 100% correct. You know what I'm saying? And college basketball is great because you get a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel? Do you care about this at all? Because maybe there's no betting involved, but as a fan of the sports, how do you feel about NBA free agency right now? Do you have any thoughts on, Kevin Durant's like, yo, I'm ready to go. Like, get me the fuck out of Brooklyn. Do you have any thoughts on one, where you think he would land? Is there betting on that? And 2, where do you think as a fan he should land that makes the most sense to contend for a title? Because we all know Golden State's in the championship next year. I'll say it now. I mean, I don't think that's a far-fetched thought.
It's not far-fetched, bro. Not far-fetched at all. They've done nothing but defy odds. So, I mean, as an odds maker, I can imagine their odds are going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
As far as Kevin Durant, bro, I think he should stay where he's at, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, now the team is about to be solid. You got what you wanted. Y'all there. Like, I'm not sure if he's just trying to like fish to get more money or whatever, or maybe just trying to see what's available. I think Boston would be a good fit for him. I mean,
they talked about, but bro, they're giving him like three regular players and like 4 picks, like something crazy, man.
Yeah. Like they really like making you earn that shit. But that's why I think he's not going to go anywhere. They're going to want a king's ransom for that guy. Like wherever he goes, it's going to be under. They're gonna ask for everything, like the mascot.
I say this. I say he's a young boy. And if Larry Bird or Kevin McHale or Robert Parrish was in charge, Kevin Durant would be in Boston yesterday.
Yeah, for sure.
Because him and Jason Tatum is like Pippen and Jordan.
Him, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. I mean, like
but that's the thing. They're talking about sending Jalen to get KD.
Yeah, because you're right. Because
they can shuffle it up. They can shuffle it up.
Yeah. No, they would definitely be taking Jaylen Brown. His ass is definitely going. They'll be taking him.
They like give it to me.
There's no way you're getting him without him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what other moves have there been for free agency this year? I can't remember.
So
I know a lot of rookies have signed big contracts to stay where they're at.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm going through my tax bracket mind frame right now. There's been like 2 or 3 kind of big trades. I could Google the shit and be sufficient, but I'm feeling the vibes. I'm enjoying the conversation, so I don't want to do that. I know that Kyrie was like, I want out of here potentially. So what's up? I don't think they sent him anywhere. Isn't Ben Simmons in Brooklyn still?
Ben Simmons is in Brooklyn still. That's
Bro,
why this
Ben Simmons, KD, and Kyrie. Well, you can't fucking win some games with that. And Harden.
That's why I feel like it's like either a troll or there's something else they're trying to do that like is underneath the surface, because it just don't make sense. Like you have the Voltron that you wanted. Like you traded for Ben Simmons from Harden. Kyrie's gonna be not injured. Kevin Durant's gonna be healthy, somewhat healthy, I guess. I mean, that's what you want. That's what you wanted.
Yeah. So talking about what we want, how do you feel about? And I hope you play. I feel like you would fantasy football. Okay. Do you feel like a strategy for fantasy football is load up on running backs, or if you're in a PPR, get the top receivers that gets like 10 touches a game, or like what do you?
I'm gonna stop you right there.
How do you feel about that?
I'm gonna stop you right there because you didn't let me interject when you said like, do I play fantasy football? I don't.
Okay.
It just doesn't make me any money. I mean, like not the kind of money that I make betting. And I'm not saying it's bad.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with like fantasy
what
football.
What if you're in the league?
I want my bread. I don't want to wait till like the season's over to get $50 in a pot. Like that would.
But it's so Larry.
Because y'all try so hard in this fantasy football stuff. Like y'all study probably harder than me and just walk away with $20. I'm like, yo, bet on a fucking game. Like y'all have all the stats. Apply that. You know what I'm saying? Like study the game and watch it. Apply it.
That's good. That's
but
wisdom
honestly,
right there, bro.
Like I've noticed that I could use the stuff that I do for sports betting. I can apply that to fantasy football. Like, so if that's something that I guess somebody would be interested in, hit me up. I can like give you some numbers, set a number.
You could get
teams that are going to win. You know what I'm saying? Like once you know a team's going to win, you can be like, all right, well, fucking Jalen Brown must going to be dropping 25 points today because like they're definitely going to win this game. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to be able to point them in the right direction.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, I know there's a lot of different levels that you go to with live dogs, but I feel like not general manager, but a fantasy football guide coach. Like if I hit you up, like I'm in a league with Keith, Kaola, John Sacco, Steve Kendall, Josh Kendall, a bunch of homies from you know what I'm saying, Fayetteville and shit.
Yeah.
And so I said, listen, let me give Larry $20 every 2 weeks to give me my I show him my roster. This is who I got. Yeah. And he says, I do the work, but he's like, Jay, you do more work than me to figure out your fantasy shit. Apply that to live dogs. Go ahead and play some bets, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
The fantasy is so fun, though. I love talking my shit. I
love
talking my shit.
Like I have done it before. I have had a fantasy season. I didn't know, I wasn't really betting back then as like I am now, like just kind of casual betting. So I wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? Like I have like the fucking noob logic of like sports. Like, oh, this guy's good. Let me get him. Like I'm not even thinking about like the injury factors, shit like that. Like nothing. Like, oh, he's fast.
So let me tell you this, bro. We're going to do it like this, and we're going to do it for the first time ever. So this is what we call the rapid fire section of the RPR podcast. I call it the RPR podcast on some old Ohio State type vibes. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do, since we have a gentleman such as yourself, a gentleman and a scholar in here, we're gonna do the sports edition. All right.
All right.
And we're gonna go slowly but surely. Your answer should be the first thing that rings in your cerebellum, not your cerebellum, but your ventricles, the first joint. And then if you want to elaborate, feel free to elaborate. That doesn't mean you got to tell me about all your decisions. Like if there's one that you're like, yo, I said the Miami Heat in 1999 with Ronnie Cycli. This is why I said that.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? You said Miami Heat with Ronnie Cycli. Shit, NBA Jam.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're going to do it like this. We go in Madden or NBA Live?
Madden.
We going Michael Vick or Randall Cunningham?
Vick.
We going Randy Moss or we going Terrell Owens?
Moss.
We going fantasy football or we going live dogs? That was a trick question.
Live dogs. Let me expound on that one. I was like, yeah, live dogs for sure.
So here's one. This isn't even an option. Would you have stayed with Baker or you running with Deshaun? And how do you feel? I do want you to elaborate. How do you feel about Baker being in Carolina?
Well, I mean, if you have a healthy Deshaun Watson that's not like being plagued by 1,000 off-field issues of fucking rape, I guess that's the guy you want. You know what I'm saying? But since that is the case, I think that, you know what I'm saying, like you get Baker, you know what I'm saying, like get him to Carolina. Him being in Carolina is a great thing. I hope every Carolina Panther understands that y'all got yourself somebody who's going to ball. Like
he's ready.
Puts up real numbers, who's a real quarterback. He's not fucking Sam Darnold. He's not scared of the moment. Like he is better than the people are giving him credit for. Like when you look at his stats,
he's got a chip on his shoulder too.
He's got a chip on his shoulder. He brought the shitty ass Browns into a playoff season where they looked fantastic as the quarterback did. Like he has like a lot of records for Cleveland as a quarterback in like 3 years that he's been there. That's crazy. Like people will see, bro. I say these things, people don't listen. I'm telling you right now, this is like he's gonna have a good year.
I was surprised that everyone was surprised that they weren't relying on Sam Darnold. if Darnold was who the Jets thought he was, he would have did in Carolina what because college he came from what USC, if I'm not mistaken.
He came from USC, yeah. He came from USC, and he's like, honestly, he is a decent quarterback. That poor kid, he's never had an O-line, bro. Like that guy, he's never been able to stand in the pocket for more than like a second. Like he's always scrambling, and he's not a scrambler. Baker Mayfield will scramble the fuck out and drop you, 30 yards, 40 yards.
Yeah, the reason I reference USC is because I think about Matt Barkley. I think about Mark Sanchez. I think about Carson Palmer. That's 3, and those are like years apart. Like those are different.
There was a lineage there for a second when you had Matt Leinart, Carson Palmer. Yeah, like they were just like churning out quarterbacks there for a second.
Yeah. So let me put you on to this. I got a homie, Gamble Moki, a brother out of New York. He's got a son that'll be playing in Texas, but he has a conglomerate that he joined with Rob Parker from ESPN, who, has caught some tumultuous, questionable stuff based on what he has shared. But he started MLBBro.com, which focuses on the brothers of darker melanin playing baseball, right? They had an interview with Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts had this like design shirt. He was like, listen, he was like, yo, there's not a lot of black people in baseball. I'm trying to change that.
Yeah,
and it was like, they was like, is that all you got to say? He's like, I mean, did I say that I said enough? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like what else does it need to be said? And Mookie's right. I mean, and it's funny, bro. It's funny you say that because I was just telling my wife, as a black man growing up where we grew up in Fayetteville, like honestly, bro, I didn't even look at baseball until I was like 20-something years old. Like basketball has always been the only sport that you find in these not impoverished areas, but impoverished areas and like below and above, like to middle class. It's always basketball for us. You know what I'm saying? So people just aren't exposed to baseball. My dad never put a fucking baseball bat in my hand. Like nobody in my neighborhood had a fucking baseball bat.
Right.
So like now that it's becoming more of a like larger cultural thing, there are more black people finally starting to play. Like I'm gonna have my little niggas play basketball. I'm baseball. I'm like, yo, come on, like,
hey, get them in there, bro. Get them in there.
The way to the bag is less strenuous on your joints. All you gotta do is hit a fucking ball, jot. What like you can wear your fucking chains while you're playing. Yo, like what sport do you know?
Would you
that you can wear jewelry like this?
I feel like you would know. Would you say that baseball is the most financially rewarding out of all the sports? Because I know they say,
by far, bro. Yeah, I mean, like, because
you know what I don't get.
A, they make a lot of money. B, they don't work as hard as everybody else. Not saying that it's not an athletic sport. Not saying that there's not a lot of technique. Of course there is. But when we're talking about comparison cardiovascular wise and just body damage wise to like football or basketball or boxing, there's no comparison. You can play baseball until you're fucking 50 years old if you want to. Like you can still play that sport. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you like look at the cost of it all.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So is there a way to determine the outcome when they say like, okay, yesterday, I feel like his name's Juan Cotto, but I don't want to fuck it up. But he plays for either like I almost said the Wizards, the Washington team or somebody else, and they offer him like 230 mil over a span of time. How does that compare to a football or a basketball? And they say like 100 mils guaranteed. I don't know that. So if I'm raising a child and I'm like, okay, financially, what's the best for the future generations of the Corrigan family? I don't know what 230 mil over 3 years versus 100 mil over 2 years. I don't know what all that shit means, bro.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just what their salaries are. And like those salaries are comparable to baseball and stuff like that. It just comes down to like, I guess when you look at football, they only play 16 games and then they have like their playoff season and they're done for the year. So, I mean, when you think about it, like just if you're just doing like simple math, like this many games, this much money, football is extremely lucrative because you're playing a small season and then it's just done for the whole year. Baseball, you got to play like 100 and some games. So like they really are kind of earn their money. Yeah. But just on like over the long run, as far as like your body is concerned, baseball is probably gonna be your best bet, and it get paid shitloads of money. I mean, like,
bro. I was watching So let me ask you this before I share this. Who is your favorite sports broadcasting podcast, audio visual? You know, I think there's only a few, right? There's First Take, there's Shannon and Skip, there's The Herd, Dan Patrick, who I really love, and there's a few others, and then ESPN has some on ESPN Plus. Do you, as not just as a live dogs connoisseur, but as a fan of the sports, do you have a certain you know what I'm saying, one that you like to watch in the morning while you're having your coffee and shit?
Honestly, bro, I stopped watching sports radio when I started getting good at sports betting because I realized these guys don't know shit. Like they don't know what the fuck they're talking about 9 times out of 10. They're just spewing out opinions and they're doing it louder than the other person, which is cool. I get it. It's entertaining. But like me knowing what I know, I'm just like, why am I listening to this like 50-year-old guy talk about some sports shit that I would like say that he was working with me and we worked in the same spot and he was like, Larry, this team's blah, blah. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, what makes your opinion more important than mine? They just happen to have like a camera in front of them.
Yeah.
And I like, good for y'all. Go get your money, go get your bag. I salute that. But I just can't listen to them talk about nonsense all fucking day, bro.
But doesn't even like your desire and your love for sports make you want to tune in? Or you like completely like, fuck you guys?
I mean, like there are certain people that I feel like they really deal with the facts of it all. Like people hate Coward, but that motherfucker says like shit that it happens. Like he'll say some prediction and that shit'll play out just the way he said that shit.
Yeah.
Like he don't get enough, like enough respect because they think he's like a shock jock. But yeah, he's pretty good. I'm like, and Kendrick Perkins, like all these new guys, like I love seeing like just like the diversity that I'm starting to see now on these like talk shows and shit. Like Perkins and Foxworth and all those other guys, like those they have real opinions. They're not screaming at each other. They're kind of just like dealing with facts. I appreciate facts.
Yeah. How do you feel about the big three? I mean, I think we're into our second or third season. Do you feel like one, does it have entertainment value? Two, does anybody really give a shit? Is Ice Cube just doing something to put extra money in his pocket? Or is this a legitimate, like this is kind of like street ball kind of stuff?
Yeah, man. Like I'm for it. Like I'm glad that there's a lane for older basketball players to get out there and still enjoy what they're great at and get some bread. I cannot watch that shit. It's like watching the WNBA to me. Like these guys, they're moving this. I mean, like there's a couple dudes that are out there giving buckets, but it's not like, why am I gonna watch the B squad at the strip club when I can watch NBA and college basketball?
When I can go to Sharky's on
like why am I gonna be here at 3 p.m. and come back at night and just get like the whole squad? So
now,
that's
how do you feel about the USFL? Have you caught any of those games?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, have not seen. Yep. Really, what I focus on of the main sports, and I do watch a lot of tennis. Surprisingly, tennis, and that's like probably my odd sport that I follow.
Who's top notch in your tennis realm right now?
Shit. Well, I mean, Joker's always gonna be number one. I mean, like,
is Rafa not doing his thing anymore?
No, he is. But Rafa's starting to have like a lot of injuries because he's a very explosive player. If you ever seen Nadal play, like he's not built like everybody else. He's built like he could play a lot of sports. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the only tennis guys that are like, he'll probably just beat your ass too if you run up on him. So it's like, you see him and why he's hurt all the time is because of how explosive he is. Where Joker is extremely smooth. He's flexible. He's very technical. It's really not a lot of, what I'm saying? Like he is fast, but he's not like muscular and explosive. Where like, kind of like what you see with Zion Williams. Like he's not gonna be able to play in the league for more than 5 years. I guarantee that shit, bro. He's just too fucking big and too explosive for his own good. So
let me ask you this: the person that came in my mind is Jose I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Ariazaza. Are you a Dookie or you a Tar Heel?
Bro, Duke. Fuck Duke.
And I apologize.
You understand
I apologize ahead of time because the fact that I said Dookie or Tar Heel, you already know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, bro, straight up.
But you know what I love, man? I love the teams that Coach K put together. I love that he stuck in so long. Oh, but I love that the Tar Heels knocked him out in the tournament on his last game.
So legendary. It's like so like because Duke players will never be able to live that game down forever. Like that's gonna go down in history. We'll never probably play them in a Final Four like that ever again. That'll be it. You know what I'm saying? And we have it. And they thought they were gonna run over us all year. Shit, I did too. I was like, yo, we really might about to win this game.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
It was good stuff, man. I loved it. So I want to transfer away from sports for a moment. In terms of books or movies, like, is your downtime mainly spent with wifey and the kids, or is some of your downtime, watching Netflix, Prime, Hulu, HBO Max? And if so, what are some of the shows that you frequent?
Oh, bro, like, yeah, I spend all my time with my wife and kids, and like the little bit of time that me and my wife get at night, we are watching like series. We are cinephiles, but for TV series, like you name it, we're probably watching it right now.
I love
Which
it.
is not great. I mean, like we should be reading books and shit. We should be like doing book club shit.
Hey, but there's a balance. There's a balance to it. So
yeah, but we're in balance. We ain't reading shit.
So these are the three thoughts. I would say Ozark, Stranger Things, and you mentioned earlier Saul. Everybody, what is it? Everybody calls. I can't even think.
A Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Better Call Saul. So have y'all seen and or finished Stranger Things and the first joint that I mentioned, which I can't think of right now, but even though it was like 45 seconds ago.
You said Game of Thrones was one of them, I thought.
No, it wasn't Game of Thrones. What was it? I said Ozark.
Ozark, yes. Ozark's fantastic. That's like one of my favorite. When it's on, it's like definitely the show that I'm watching till like big type shit.
Yeah.
Finished Stranger Things. I thought that was the best season of all the Stranger Things. The third one, we almost didn't even watch it because it just getting kind of dry. The fourth one was like on some whole other shit. They must have
some new writers up in there.
It was like, yeah, let's just make this an action-packed sci-fi thriller movie. Like it was wild. Me and my wife both were like eating popcorn.
Bro, they was like, let's wild out real quick. Let's wild out. Well, shoot,
the show
man,
we're watching right now, like I'll throw this out for anybody who's listening. You need to watch the show called The Bear.
Okay,
Bear.
yeah, with
never heard of it before.
With old boy from
Shameless.
Yeah, Shameless.
From Shameless. Yeah.
I can't even think of his name right now, but yeah, I started watching it last night, and he was like, "Yo, we ain't got no rice. Y'all need to get some potatoes and get them shits boiling." She was like, "That's my pot." He's like, "That ain't your
bro,
pot."
Like I told my wife, like it just gives me anxiety. Like the whole show is just like an anxiety-filled nightmare. Like I'm just the whole time like I cannot fucking do this. And I love cooking, you know what I'm saying? So like for me, like I love the show for 1,000 different reasons. I like to see like what goes on in the kitchen, and they're like being very authentic with like recipes and shit. I love it, but I could not work in the kitchen, bro. I would have.
Now, did you in your teenage or whatever years, did you ever work in food service? Were you ever a cook, and that's why it relates to you like that, or no?
I worked at KFC probably for a week and quit, and just didn't even tell them I was quitting. Just never came back. Like I ain't come back.
No doubt.
Yeah, like that was
to be honest,
and like that's the only reason why I know. Like people say they love to cook. I'm a foodie. I love to cook. But, and then, people say, hey, you should probably be a chef. And I'm like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's levels to that kind of shit. Like, chefs work 12, 13, 14 hours a day. And they, have very rarely have, like, kind of downtime. And you got to love chopping up food all fucking day. Like, you got to love it. Like, true love.
Oh, yeah. KFC was my second job. I was a cook and a cashier. We did the extra tasty crispy, fucking had the recipe, all the little
people screaming at me and shit. Like, I'm like, this is a lot, man. I mean, like, I'm already struggling cooking the chicken. You yelling at me ain't fucking happy. It's not helping.
Bro, what I like
sadness.
I feel like it was called the Twister or something, and it was lettuce, had a little bit of sauce on it, the chicken tenders, and it was rolled up. And then we put it in like a little silver joint to keep it nice and warm. Bro.
Yeah, see? Like, yeah, we're back there like artists.
You know what I mean? They don't even know, bro.
I'm back there dropping chicken, throwing it back in the fryer. Like, yes. That happens, ladies and gentlemen. People drop chicken, throw on the fire. You eating floor.
It's going down. So is there anything, on your heart and mind that you particularly, just want to get off your chest or have dialogue about? I definitely open the floor up to you for that. This isn't closing anything, but I just really want to feel like, I want to honor your time and space and say, bro, if you got something you want to talk about, what's up?
I mean, I can just kind of talk about, I guess, Live Dogs for a second. Just talk about.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like anybody who's doing any kind of sports betting, like I was, like talking junk about fantasy football, but it truly can be used as a like powerful vessel to be able to delegate certain factors to a team or a player to be able to pick them out. So if that's something that people are interested in, I mean, like I can look into it, but I would have to hear people saying, "Yo, we want this. We want you to do this." I would look into it, but as of right now, solely strictly,
betting on games.
yeah, like actual headshot sniping bookies.
How do you feel about I feel like they made a movie about it, but with Pete Rose potentially throwing a game to get funds, do you feel like, I don't know, I mean, I guess morally it was contextually wrong, but do you feel like that's enough to keep him out of the Hall of Fame? Unless he's already in. I don't know.
Saying like I like, do bets as a passion project, but at the same time, even looking at it, objectively, like you can see that it's probably not the best thing for him to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he should be. I mean, he was a great player, regardless of whether he bet in the game or not. And you got people in the Hall of Fame that were not necessarily all great people. You got people in the Hall of Fame who's like, doing steroids. Like, why do you do it here and not there? You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make no sense. So yeah, right. Pete Rose deserves his fucking roses. There's the flowers.
Give them to him. Give them to him.
Yeah. Give me them bets, Petey.
Yeah, man. Hey, but look, man. Like I said earlier, we like 40 minutes deep. I want to let you enjoy your Wednesday evening because I know you're on the East Coast, so it's a little bit later.
Yeah, bro.
Here at RPR, we always like not to get cliche or religious, we like to close out with a prayer. So if you don't mind, just want to say, Father, thank you for Larry, bringing him today. Bless him, his wife, his children, and continue to flourish the live dogs in a way that he didn't even expect, in a way where he can even retire from his regular job, and not that live dog isn't a regular job, but that he can say, I am my own boss. I provide substantially. And in Jesus' name, amen, amen.
Amen, bro. Yeah. Hey, man, I thank you for inviting me on, bro. This is cool as hell.
Man, I'm glad you came through, man. I'll be in touch with you, on the socials. But let's try to close it out with the season finale. I'll have you in, and we can talk about how some of the live dogs has been going for you over the past 3-4 weeks or so, man.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, like today was a good day. We made about 600 units. $600 for like $300 better. 6 units up today. We was on the Mets.
And keep busting them people's balls on Facebook, bro. I love it. Every time you cut loose, I love it. Yeah, I'm like, I got my popcorn. Let's go, Larry.
I don't even know why people start with me. I'm like, do you just want to be decapitated publicly?
You're like, listen, you already know who I am and what I do.
Yeah, why are you even starting? All right. Your funeral, buddy.
All right, man. Well, you have a good evening, man. Thanks for tapping in.
All right, bro. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, peace.